So we just got some big new Pokemon information that explains a lot that has been going on over the past couple of months, maybe even years. And it's definitely really interesting when you take a look at it. Now, first off, it seems like we're no longer going to be getting Pokemon remakes as they once were. Now, what I mean by that is if you look at something like Fire Red and Leaf Green, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, BDSP, whatever the case may be, you'll realize that these games did a very good job at remaking or remastering the region that they once were, and still adding the fine details that made that game that game. Like, for example, with Pokemon Generation 2. Heart Gold and Soul Silver really defined the way that you look at Gen 2. But now it seems like from recent rumors or reports from Central Leaks right here, it seems like BDSP was never supposed to exist. Originally what was going to be the Sinnoh remake, it was supposed to be Legend ZA, but they wanted to throw in BDSP because they weren't sure if everyone was going to like that game or whatever the case may be. So now they seem to be moving farther away. You can see this with essentially what we got with Pokemon Legends ZA. That was going to be X and Y, but it wasn't truly X and Y. So now that you look at all of this, this could define the way that we see Pokemon moving forward. Now honestly, this could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. First off, we could see all the generations make their way over to Nintendo Switch, because obviously they're not going to be remastering them anytime soon. So if they wanted to just resell those regions, well then that's probably what they're going to be doing. If you looked at the recent release with Fire Red and Leaf Green, they seem to be selling off pretty well. They didn't make any changes to the game, they just work. So obviously that is something that the Pokemon Company is going to be looking into. Now it seems like the way that they're going to be doing this is in Legends format, so Legends ZA, like we mentioned, was X and Y. The original Legends was Diamond and Pearl essentially, because it was in that region of Sinnoh, but pushed all the way far back, ancient history, ancient past, whatever the case may be. Taking all the regions and putting them into a way that you could never really think of is honestly really cool. Like, Legends 3 is supposed to be Galar, which is honestly really cool, and is probably going to be ancient history type Galar, where you see massive Pokemon roaming around, and however the story is going to be. And then we're also going to be seeing the MMO Pokemon game, which is going to be revisiting all the Japanese regions, which is definitely really cool. Now, Central Leaks also goes on to say that in the Pokemon Indigo disc was actually the Gen 5 remakes. Now, I couldn't tell. I'm pretty sure the Pokemon Company actually did confirm that this was going to be Unova, but I didn't see anything that linked it to Unova. So I guess we're going to have to see what's going on here. So yes, Black and White remasters, Black and White remakes do not seem like they're going to be happening. So the long-awaited, the long-speculated Black and White remakes, that's not going to be happening at all. The Pokemon Company kind of just confirmed that yes, these are going to be different games. So every time that we see a main version Pokemon game, so like the next generation, that's obviously going to be the next generation. But then when you look at spin-off Pokemon games, that's where the old regions are going to come into place. So depending if it's something like Legends game or something brand new, they're most likely going to be taking place inside of an older region. Usually Legends is the one that's doing it really, really well, because I honestly think that Legends Arceus was well received. Legends ZA, I don't know about that, because it wasn't fully X and Y. It wasn't fully that region, but I guess you can consider it because you got Lumio City. That's part of the region. Doesn't that make any sense? But overall, to me personally, I think that this is a pretty good step, because if you look at it, not everyone likes remasters because they sort of change the game than it originally was, because when you look at remasters or remakes, they should be sort of closer to the same game. Maybe the Pokemon company is moving farther away, and then they're going to find more technology to bring these games over to Switch 2. I definitely think that this is exactly how it's going. So we're going to be seeing Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald later this year. So that's the GBA games wiped off the charts. Those are going to be coming back. Then the Game Boy games could definitely be coming back next year for Red, Blue, Silver, Crystal, and Gold. Those could, or Yellow as well. Those could all definitely come to Switch 2. And then eventually, we're going to figure out how to do the double screen, and we'll be able to play your favorite Pokemon game on a massive television. When you think about it, this actually does make sense and gives the Pokemon company a reason to reinvent the wheel when it comes to bringing DS games to sort of Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. You can have the gamepad. This is something I've been talking about a lot. The gamepad would work very, very well on a TV, because then you can look at your bottom screen and just play like that on your TV, your television. That would work absolutely insane. I don't know if you remember or even did this with your Wii U, but there was a way that you could figure out to play like Pokemon, I believe it was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, on the Wii U gamepad. And my goodness, it worked just seamless. It worked fine. So this is something that they could do to Nintendo Switch 2. When you're in handheld mode the other way, well, then you can put your screen side by side, call it a day. You put the touch screen on the right side, and you put the actual screen that you're playing the game on the right side. Or the double screen like Nintendo's patent suggests that we are getting in the future. Now also, if we were going to take a look at this right here, this was a recent leak on sort of a different game that was originally going to be happening that was connected to your mobile device. So with your mobile device, you see where I'm saying, potentially QR code, and you could use your mobile device as a second screen or something like that. I still think the Wii U gamepad idea works even better, but I guess this is a way that they can do it. So overall, from this right here, we know that they're not going to be remaking Black and White 2. I mean, this could be partly for the reason. You see, Black and White 2, which one are they going to pick to remake? Because when it came to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they picked the wrong one. They didn't put any platinum things. They just put Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They want to give you that original experience. But then with Black and White and Black and White 2, there's two versions. Are they going to remake it and do Black and White and then Black and White 2 later on? Or are they going to stick them together? Are they just going to do Black and White 2? Who knows? That's probably one of the reasons why they're going to completely stop that. And then they're going to reintroduce Unova within a Legends game, within a different game, within an MMO, a different experience, whatever the case may be. This is what the Pokemon company is going to do moving forward. So no more. It's kind of disappointing to see. I honestly really enjoyed. My favorite remake that they ever did was honestly Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because it really defined Johto. This was a different game, a different region, a different reality when it came to Pokemon. But overall, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is some good news or some bad news? Do you wish that Game Freak would continue with the remakes, or not at all, because they want to move forward and closer to a different experience of that region, something that they weren't able to previously do, and a redefined story and adventure and accessibility? Overall, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Consider to hit that like button. Maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a bunch of different Pokemon content on this channel. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. See you in the next one.